Talk to you today about is our projects in the company. Put up here our cautionary statements. Give you a moment to review that. And while you're doing that, I'll just give you a brief overview of what I plan to talk about here in the next 8 minutes. Going to introduce the company and management, talk a little bit about our exploration philosophy and focus, and then really focus the rest of the talk on our projects, which are the key value driver for the company. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. We've got 4 key projects that we're working on right now, and I'm going to try and condense those down to get the real salient details out to you, but there's lots to talk about here. As far as management goes, we're a team of seasoned veterans in the industry, both with a track record of discovery and at capital raisings. I'll focus right now, I won't go through everyone's bio, but I'll focus on Garfield McVeigh, president of the company. He's got close to 40 years experience in the industry, associated with several both gold and base metal discoveries. Also, I think of significance, he is a founder and past president and past chairman of the board for Rubicon Minerals, a company that's really grown dramatically. It's valued over $1 billion now. So we have people with experience in the business and know how to generate some value. Focusing on the projects here, our real key asset or core asset is the Palmer project. It's a copper zinc discovery made by the company in the past couple of years. It's located in southeast Alaska. I'm gonna focus mostly on that at the front end of the presentation, and then walk you through our gold projects. So in addition to our copper discovery, investors will have exposure to 3 active gold projects this coming year. In the near term, we'll be out in Ontario on the Munro Croesus project. It's an exceptionally high-grade opportunity there. We also have the Trapper Gold project located in northwest BC that we've optioned to a company that will be drilling that this summer. And most recently, we've entered the Yukon. It's an area we've had our eyes on for quite a while. We have familiarity in that region, and this year we entered into the fray in a fairly significant way. So looking at Palmer here, some highlights. We own it 100%. It is a new discovery, and it's located in an exceptional VMS belt. The belt that we're in hosts one of the world's largest VMS deposits in Windy Craggy, and it also hosts one of the world's highest grade VMS deposits in terms of large deposits. So if you're going to go looking for these things, it's a good place to be. We've got excellent location and logistics, and we came out with our maiden resource on the deposit in about this time last year. It's currently sitting at 4.12 million tons, grading 2% copper, 4.79% zinc with significant precious metal credits. Using a slightly less conservative cutoff at $50 a ton, it boosts the total tonnage to about 4.75 million tons. That resource is made up of multiple zones, all of which are wide open to expansion. It's very early days for us in this discovery, and we think we're teed up now to really take advantage of the rising commodity markets, particularly in the base metal space, which have been largely overshadowed by gold the past couple of years. The deposit has good metallurgy. From early indications suggest it has good metallurgy, and it's quite a large property. So in addition to the deposit we've discovered and has a lot of growth potential, there's potential to find multiple new deposits on the property. At the base here you can see 3 points: high grade, accessible, and growing, and the next few slides are gonna key in on those facts. So this is just a chart that plots our resource. It's the bars in red on the left, the 2 different cutoffs, the value of our resource per ton, and comparing that against the known reserves at existing mines. And I think you can't really get a better metric in terms of comparing your deposit than looking at the grade at things that have been producing for the last 20 years, the things that made money at 80-cent copper, not $4 copper. And so what you see is we're right in line there, actually in the upper edge of things. So our grade is good. And one other point there, you look at Kidd Creek, they're mining down at 6,000 feet below surface, so they can make money at that grade. We should certainly be able to make money where we are. Location, doesn't matter what business you're in, location is key, perhaps none more so than the base metal space. What you can see here, really shown in red, is that we're immediately adjacent to a paved highway. and that's leads 60 kilometers to a deep sea port facility. So that provides that ready access to the hungry Asian smelting markets where all your copper and zinc concentrates are going these days. So good logistics. another key point to take away from this slide is the logging infrastructure. You can see there, all those white lines are the logging roads, so we've got those crisscrossing our property. There's an active placer mine in the area, so certainly an area that's familiar with resource extraction, and that should reduce the hurdles to permitting a project like this. This is a shot looking a little bit at the geology. I won't belabor the geology, but I do think it illustrates the growth potential with the opportunity. So you're looking here, looking across at the hillside where we've been drilling, and all that orange alteration that you can see in the slide is associated with the mineralization. In the top right corner is a schematic of the geology, and what we have is we've got lenses of massive sulfide on both limbs of a major fold. We've got stacked lenses, so we've been able to generate a fair bit of tonnage within a fairly confined space in a fairly short time frame with limited number of holes. But the real takeaway here is that this system that you see coming out this side of the mountain, it goes right through the mountain, and it comes out the other side a kilometer away. Similar looking alteration zone with massive sulfide. So you know there's a fair bit of strike extent to this system through the mountain. The bulk of our drilling has been on this side of the mountain to date. Another takeaway is that our drilling to date has only really come about halfway down the mountain, basically about the height of the red helmet on the guy on the bike. And we know from silt and soil sampling down through the lower stretches that we can take the system down to the river bottom. We haven't drilled there, but we know the system as a whole is down there. So lots of room to grow this thing both at depth and along strike, and it's very accessible from drilling. The terrain here actually works to our advantage in terms of drilling the property. And ultimately that terrain works to your advantage in terms of development, because you can come in underneath with lateral development rather than sinking a shaft or having to ramp down. Taking that one step further, expanding from just the deposit's growth potential, this is a property scale map. And the area we're drilling, unfortunately I don't have a laser pointer here, has shown where the resource is demarked there. And that alteration that you saw, well, you can track that across the countryside for kilometers. And in fact, we've got about 15 kilometers of strike potential. And along that alteration, you get periodic occurrences of base metal and sulfides mineralization. We've been able to really explore. All of our focus has been in the area of the resource, but there's tremendous potential elsewhere on the property. And a good example is the MHC target in the top left. You know, there is an area littered with boulders. There's a photo of one there. It's about 6 feet across, running 2.5% copper, 33% zinc. We haven't yet found the source to that. So lots of potential for finding multiple deposits on this property and really build a district. Switching gears here, looking at our gold property. In the near term, we plan to be out drilling this project here very shortly. It is an exceptionally high-grade opportunity. It's really quite a unique opportunity, I think, in the gold space. Within our property package is a historic producer. It produced from the early 1900s, intermittently till the 1930s. It was quite a famous little mine for having produced some of the highest grade gold in Ontario. The sample you see there on the right is in the Royal Ontario Museum. It's one of several. 85 pounds worth of sample there, all running about a third gold, so 30% gold, in excess of 10,000 ounces per ton. And if you put that into perspective, a cubic meter of that type of material, the gold content would be in excess of 100 million. So it's admittedly a small target we're after, but an extremely high-grade target, and one that we've spent the past couple of years getting to know, getting to drill, and really think we've refined a target space to find more of this type of material, and we're getting after that here very soon. I should add that we have a private collection of samples as well. And they're actually at our booth, which is at 1226, just over there. They're really quite spectacular. I recommend you coming by and seeing those after the presentation. And where it's located, talk a little bit more about it. Again, I can't go into too much detail on any of these projects now, so please come by our booth or visit our website. But we are sitting in the heart of the Abitibi. It's Abitibi, classic gold country, within the influence of the Porcupine-Dester Fault, so exactly where you want to be to find high-grade gold. In addition to that high-grade opportunity, that real high-grade opportunity, we also have more sort of conventional Timmins-style gold potential on the property. Moving to the Yukon, some of you may have heard of the Yukon of late. It's gained a lot of attention in the news media, and rightfully so. It's probably the hottest exploration jurisdiction on the planet right now. It's an area we've been watching for quite a while because of our familiarity in the north and in that region. A lot of the early interest was in the white gold district, but really what caught our attention was the activity by ATTAC and their identification of a new type of deposit, or a new deposit type for the Yukon, which is considered Carlin type. And they're a very significant deposit type. It's the type of deposit that made Barrick Barrick. And people have been looking the world over for those types of deposits. You know, I think without question it has been identified now in the Yukon. And we very aggressively moved to acquire a large chunk of land in that area, focusing exclusively on the Carlin Trend. It looks like I'm running out of time. I'll quickly run through our Trapper Gold project here. Big soil anomaly. We've JV'd this out to diversify our risk here. About 2 kilometer long, 200 meter wide gold soil anomaly, high tenor anomaly, real attractive target, never been drilled, big alteration zone. We're quite excited about this. And just to wrap up here, I'll just run through the catalysts. So I've talked about our projects. Well, what's going to drive them forward? What's going to generate the value here this coming year? We're cashed up. We just closed the financing for $3.5 million in December. We're going to be out expanding the RW and Southwall zones at Palmer. Munro Croesus going to be drilling that in the very near term here. And the Yukon Gold, we've got a big land position there. Lots of high grade or high percentile, 95th percentile type silt anomalies, regional silt anomalies that we're going to go out and really attack and try to generate some drill targets there, much as Attack did with our Cirrus discovery, where they took a silt anomaly and with a span of 46 weeks, drilled their first hole and added about $500 million to their market cap. And lastly, Trapper Gold. You know, we got a firm commitment from our partner there. They're going to be spending $750,000 this year. And that'll include drilling $4.75 million to earn 50% on that project. So we should see a lot of activity in the company this year. And yeah, thank you very much. Just in closing, please come by and visit our booth, 1226.